How's it going, guys? Thank you for supporting my previous YouTube videos, and I'm just coming here with some gameplay with the green Oden versus the Sakazuki matchup. Gotta start the game with a classic fist bump. Boop. And here I'm just going second, and this is already my mulligan hand. Not looking too good. I usually like to mulligan for the 8 cost kid, but I do have a turn 1 play where I'm just going to search with the Momo. And there's nothing that I'm really looking for other than just, either a Raizo or maybe a 2k counter. I'm just looking at my hand and I do see that I already have a Raizo in my hand, so I just pick up the 2k counter for future play. She starts off her turn using Sakazuki leader effect, pitching a 2k, which I wonder, in my head that tells me that she has a lot of 2ks in hand, and she swings at the Momo, and then with 3 Dawn up, I believe she plays the Hina. She thinks for a moment and she's like, yep, I got 5 cards in hand, so she can draw, passing turn to me. Going to my 4 Dawn turn, and I already made the decision that I was going to play the Raizo. I'm sure they'll be able to remove it, but ultimately I want to be able to play cards against the Sakazuki, so they utilize their removal ability so they can start to whittle their resources by trying to control my board. But because of Sakazuki's ability to cycle and draw, it's very hard. She just swings a little 5 to poke at me, which I take. Usually because I play the 8 cost kid in this build, I don't mind getting down low, but against the Sakazuki I have to be very careful. I do see that she plays the 4-drop Kuzan, which is pretty scary. And I start my turn by just digging using Bonnie, looking for that 8 cost kid. Here I don't see it, but I just pick up another Bonnie because that's my win condition. And I'm gonna dig for that 8 cost kid. So looking at top 5, and bam, super fortunate. I find the 8 cost kid. So next turn I'm going to 8 Dawn, and I'll be able to play that 8 cost kid on curve. And at this point I just swing 5 with Raizo so I can draw a card, just trying to get cards out of their hand. And I'm just looking and I see a lot of non-counter Danjuros, which is no problem. With Oden's ability, there's no dead cards in hand, so I pitch a Danjuro to restand 2 Dawn and just swing 6. And right here I just want to search with my baby 5 because I know that I have my next turn I'm going to play the kid, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to do moving forward, and bam, I find the 10 drop. So next turn in my head I'm going to play the 8 drop kid and then be able to play the 10 drop Doflamingo on curve. But they do have that Kuzan on board, so I have to be very mindful. And I see that she starts to clear my board, swinging at Bonnie, and I'm not going to protect these searchers. I'm just going to let them go. I'm just gonna put a dice there because she minus my Raizo, and she ends up playing the Sabo, which is kind of scary. This tells me that she is cycling for something. She probably remembers that I searched out the 8 drop kid, so she's probably looking for a response right now. Pitching the Borsellino and Hina, and then playing another brand new to just search for another Navy card. And she ends up picking the Hina. I would have thought she would have went for the Great Eruption, but that's why I'm not a real good Sakazuki player. They're always thinking a little bit farther ahead. Just want to take a look on what is in their trash. So if I were to play this 8-cost kid, what can they access? And I see there's a handful of Hinas already in there. I top draw another Doflamingo, so I'm just gonna play this 8-drop kid on curve, and then use Oden's ability, pitching this dead no counter Dendro on my hand to restand 2. Because I know they're going to try to respond to my kid, I am going to play Rosinante to make sure I can protect my kid with the KO effects. Right here, I was just trying to be cheeky and swing a quick 5 to the Hina to see if he'll just let it go, but she ends up blocking, and I swing 5 to the face with Raizo just to draw a card. This is my second time drawing with Raizo, so I'm getting a lot of value. And I hope to get more value with Raizo hiding behind this 8-cost kid, but let's see what she ends up doing. And let the comboing begin. She placed that Great Eruption, minusing 2 to the kid. I guess that's why she didn't pick up the second one. And right here she placed the Rebecca, going through her trash. Let's see what she grabs. I do remember that she has a Hina already in her hand, but she grabs another one and plays on board to minus my kid. So now my kid is a 2-cost character, which makes me pretty nervous, but I'm putting her on having a Houndblaze or something to bottom deck my 8-cost kid. If she were to KO it, then I can use Rosinante's effect to make sure that it doesn't get KO'd. But what are we talking about here? Of course, she has it. I haven't seen her play a Houndblaze all game, and she's been playing Sabo to dig through her deck, so of course she got it. The only fool here is me fooling myself, hoping that she didn't. So here she goes, clearing my board. Swinging 5 at the Raizo, and I just let it go because I really want her to start hitting my face, so I can start taking some life cards. And right here we notice that something on the board looks really funny, because she notices that she ends up having 6 characters on board, so she removes the brand new. She's doing a lot of thinking, and she has 2 Dawn up, so in my head there's only 2 options of what she can do. Play brand new or play Manchuria are the 2 thoughts that come into my mind. And I've been played, and it was a Houndblaze to bottom deck my blocker. So she swings 6, which I block because I know there's a 7k coming, which I take, and the Kuzan, which is a 8k, which I take as well. Now it's my turn, and I have 10 Dawn up with 2 life, and I just swing 5 at life. I believe they have like 5 cards in hand, and I just want to give them a quick poke. And she blocks, which lets me play the 10 drop Doflamingo. And ultimately, I just want to freeze the characters I feel like would be the most impactful. So that would be the Kuzan leader and the blocker, of course. I pitch Dendro, so I can also play a blocker down because I don't want to get 2 big swings to my face to get me down to 0 with the double Hinas on board. But I just play a killer and pass. A lot of the times from my experiences, playing a 10 drop Doflamingo can be really impactful, but at the same time, if your opponent just gets you down to 0 life, it gets really scary to be able to play your higher end cards. So being able to use Oden's ability to play a blocker gives me that extra layer of protection. And she starts off with pitching that Hina, which I knew that was in her hand. And let's see what she ends up doing. She pays 2 to Hound Blaze my blocker, making that Hina 7k. So at this point, we've seen three Hound Blazes. And she swings 7, which I take. And I think what I talked about earlier, my worst nightmare, where she jams for 9, which I also take, and plays a Lucci on curve, and right here she's counting, just because she doesn't want to have 2 main characters on board like last time. And I top draw a useless kid, so I think this is what I know I'm gonna follow up with. So I swing 10 at the Kuzan. She doesn't have any blockers, and I just need to get that Kuzan out of the way so I can play this 8 drop kid safely. And I was thinking about attacking, but I just want to slide a Dawn under the kid because I don't want to forget to do that later. And I do have a blocker on board, so I believe I just swing 6 here, and I'll use kid ability to bring down Rosinante. My opponent is doing a lot of thinking, and she flashes a Tsuru, which I do see, but she ends up holding off and just starts with using leader ability, pitching a Rob Lucci, just because she knows that she's unable to KO my kid, and she plays a Tashiki, resting it, minusing kid to 4. And right here I'm starting to get nervous because we saw her play 3 Hound Blazes, and I was thinking, oh no, she has her 4th one in her pocket. But it looks like she decides to pivot here. I'm thinking that she might have miscounted and might have misdelegated the Dawn. So she's pivoting, swinging 8 at my kid, which I counter for 1, singing another 8, which I give a Momo, counter for 1, and she passes. And right here I draw, and I have 0 life, but I have my 8 cost kid on board, so I just play my 10 drop Dofi, resting the Hina, Tsuru, and leader, pitching a Wano card so I can be able to utilize my 8 cost kid ability, swinging 9 at life, looking at my hand, seeing what I have. Swinging 6, which she surprisingly takes, which tells me that she doesn't have any 2Ks in hand. And I swing 10, and she blocks with her Sabo. And she's restanding her characters, and I was like, hold your horses. I just played my 10 drop Dofi. So we're trying to figure out which cards were rested, but initially she thought it was the Lucci, and I was like, no, it's the Hina. But we got there in the end. So just reading the board and looking at her hand size, I can pretty much guess that this is going to be the make or break turn right here. So she plays a Tsuru from hand, plays another one, minusing my kid to 4. And then I believe she plays a 4th one, or another one. And I see why she didn't counter out of the simple 6K swing earlier, because she needed to keep the Tsuru, the 2K counter, to be able to remove my kid. And she plays the 4th Hound Blaze. She found all 4 Hound Blaze this game, so she was able to remove my kid, boosting up the Lucci. And she's playing a brand new Searching for Something, and I don't think I think she wanted to grab the Lucci, but at the same time she only has 3 Dawn left. She swings 8, and I just block out here because she doesn't have any other cards to swing, and I just restand everything, and she doesn't have any blockers, so I just go for game, swinging 50 at life. Good game. Fist bump to close it out. Thank you guys once again for watching my YouTube videos and all the support that you guys are showing by watching and liking. Just please watch my other videos. You can watch my deck list for Oden, as well as stay tuned for future videos. Ciao!